Part 4 of Chapter 1, Embracing Your Inner Critic, the Rule Maker. We have talked a bit about the development of the pleaser and the disowning of anger. Now let us show you how some of the other primary selves develop, because these all work closely with the inner critic. Each of us has a rule maker who makes up the rules about what kind of person we should be and what kinds of characteristics are unacceptable. This part of us develops early in life to protect our vulnerability. It looks around us, sees what is rewarded and what is punished, and it develops a set of rules for us to live by that will keep us safe. For instance, if you grew up in an average middle-class American family, your rule maker would probably want you to be sensible, successful, hardworking, honest, dependable, an achiever, fairly well-behaved, cheerful, outgoing, self-assured, attractively dressed, and neatly groomed. These qualities will be reflected in your primary selves. Your rule maker will probably not want you to be lazy, sloppy, angry, too sexual, too emotional, loud, inappropriate, shy, unattractive, dishonest, or selfish. These equal and opposite qualities will become your disowned selves. Your critic works hand in glove with this rule maker. It is your critic's job to help you to live up to the standards set by your rule maker, who, generally speaking, sounds like the voices of parents and society blended together on an inner level. Your critic will keep a close eye on you to be sure that you do not fall below the standard that has been set. Needless to say, the standard is impossible for anyone but Superman to attain, but it is there nonetheless. This relationship between the inner critic and rule maker is essential to understand, because the critic's job is to uphold the rules that have been established. To learn to handle the inner critic means that we also must learn to separate from the rule maker. For instance, if the rule maker wants us to be competent and self-assured, the critic will review our behavior and find any signs, either overt or covert, of incompetence or insecurity. Even if any objective observer would think that we had done a great job, our inner critic, knowing what was going on inside of us, is able to find the flaws in either our performance or our inner attitude. The pusher. The pusher is another major primary self in many of us and a great teammate of the inner critic. It usually develops to help us do well at school. The pusher's job is to get us to achieve, to meet goals, to keep moving forward in life. It helps us to get ahead in the world. The pusher is never satisfied. We can always do more, or do it faster or better. It sets ever-changing requirements for us. Just as we reach the goal line, whatever it may be, the pusher runs ahead of us and moves the goal a bit further on, so that again it is out of reach. With a strongly developed pusher, we are like racing dogs running after an artificial rabbit that we can never catch. The pusher has developed as a primary self to gain recognition for you and to assure your success in the world. In our culture, we admire the person who does the most, who sets the most records. Our parents try very hard to get us to be hard workers, and it must be admitted that most of us would not accomplish much without the aid of the pusher. But the pushers of the world have a tendency to be a bit too ambitious. We have noticed that New Age pushers absolutely love bookstores. We estimate that a large percentage of books are purchased by the pushers of the world, especially the New Age pushers. Once we have the books that the pushers buy, the critic joins the team and criticizes us for not reading them, for not reading them carefully enough, for forgetting what we have read, or for not underlining properly. The critic works with the pusher to get us to move, move, move. At any sign that we are getting too lazy, that we might possibly fall behind, that we might be less than the next person, the critic will point out our failing to us, and the pusher will start to push. The critic's cry, when it is teamed up with the pusher, is, "You are just not making it. Everyone is out there ahead of you." The perfectionist. The perfectionist is another common primary self that develops to help us succeed in the world. It wants us to look perfect, act perfect, and be perfect in all that we do. It will not tolerate a shoddy job and will drive us to distraction, redoing and redoing everything until it's just right. Nothing is less important than anything else. It is just as important to play perfectly during a friendly tennis volley as in the final match of a tournament. If something is worth doing, it is worth doing perfectly. And that is all there is to that. Perfect is perfect. If our goal is perfection, then whose job is it to find the imperfections? You guessed it, it's our friend the inner critic. If the perfectionist sets the standard of perfection, then the critic will help us to achieve the goal, no matter how unrealistic or inappropriate it may be. There is no question about priorities. Everything is equally important, and everything must be just right. The critic, with its eagle eye and its superior intelligence, will find every mistake, awkwardness, or problem and point it out to us with glee. So, as you can see from these examples, our inner critic is not alone, but will play ball with any of the primary selves that dominate our lives. Okay, I'll stop now, and we are still in chapter 1, and the next section is, if these are all selves, then who are we? Okay, so I'm going to stop there. We're still in chapter 1, Embracing Your Inner Critic. I look forward to what you have to say about all of this, and I hope that you will take your aware ego that has been developing as you are reading this book and have your aware ego become one of your primary selves, where now she can show you certain things, or he can show you certain things that will enlighten you to let you live a more free, joyful, peaceful, and happy life.